All right. March 26, 2026, Oconee County Rescue Squad Advisory Commission call to order at 6 o'clock. If you would, stand with me, face the flag, and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Matt, will you start us off?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next up, we got the approval of the minutes for February 12th, 2026. It should be the last sheet in your packet.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
We got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Amber. All in favor, aye. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next up, we got public comment. It's limited to 4 minutes per person. Anybody that speaks when you get to 1 minute, I'll get to yellow. If you get to red, or when your time's up, I'll flip it to red. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak tonight? Hearing and seeing none. I don't see any submitted mission member comments. We'll move into committee reports. Radio committee, we had a meeting, was it last week? Last week.
Thursday last week.
Yeah, Thursday last week we met with a potential vendor. They showed us what they could offer us. We've got some people out in the county right now currently with those radios, testing it, seeing how it works out. Other than that, we haven't really done much after that. Any discussion about radios? Hearing none. Incentive committee?
You want me to speak? Sure.
That'd be fine.
Okay. So we met for budget and incentive, which, it appears that we probably need to update this line to reflect budget and incentive, which I'll take a note.
We did it. I'll remind her.
Okay. We'll make sure that's updated, but,
Yeah.
So I'll talk about the budget first. So the budget is still in the works. Currently, there's a $200,000 line item for volunteer incentive, and Chief Smith and Interim Director Smith are working together to work out those line items. There's currently some things within that $200,000 that they believe belong elsewhere. So they're going to propose that to County Council in April, and if County Council approves, then there'll be 3 readings of that budget, and it will go into effect on July 1st. So there's more to come with that. It's kind of unofficial at the moment, so I'd rather not speak on the super details of it. As far as the incentive requirements, we talked about the requirements as they currently are with the addition of one thing. The addition would be for the responders to have all of their NIMS certifications up to date, which is not necessarily an additional burden to the responders because it's a requirement already. But we have people on rosters that have not completed them up to date. So it would be your 100, 200, 700, 800 as a minimum requirement. And then, as I said before, it's the requirements that we had before. So your 20 hours of training, CPR first aid, a current CPR first aid, a current certificate on file, and a current physical on file. So all the same except for the NIMS. That's all I have.
Can I ask a question about
Sure.
the NIMS requirement? Currently with DHS being unfunded, is that going to impact people maybe by October if they don't get funded, or?
You talking about for the government being shut down? So the thought behind that was that the government should open up sometime between now and September 30th, and that should leave ample time to get it. If something happens where they are just not able to get it between now and September 30th, then we can revisit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more discussion for incentive committee? Hearing none, we'll go into the SOG committee. Myself and Dean, we are going to be meeting next Tuesday, March 31st at 5 p.m. at the EOC to discuss the current SOG, the proposed one that we put out a few years ago, and the formatting requirements. Any and everybody is welcome to that. Again, March 31st at 5 PM at the EOC. Any other discussion on SOGs?
I just have a question, and maybe this is for discussion later, but with it being open to everyone, we can only potentially have 3 commissioners there, correct? Because then it might cause,
Correct, because it's a committee within the commission, we can have 3.
okay.
I think it was 3 commissioners. The other commissioners cannot participate in a discussion. That's what David Root said.
Meaning, well, there's gonna be a discussion at that meeting, so
So they would have to not discuss anyone.
I guess all I'm bringing up is there could be a potential for there to be an issue if there's more than 3 of us there. I don't plan to be there, but I just thought I would.
You can go ahead and
So, the quorum of members, for this, you would have to have 4. If, from the guidance that Stephen was given over from Mr. Root, if it's a rare occurrence that a quorum of members show up, then they should sit apart. However, if it's a called meeting, I mean, we're talking about a training session or some other. If it's a called meeting where you may be discussing that, you should announce it as a special meeting for the board. I'm gonna get this in writing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
that's
we've
just
had,
to put it on the up and up, because you do have a quorum present and you are talking squad business.
yeah,
on
we've
the whole
had 2
county.
different understandings about this. So let's do, if we're gonna have more than 3, let me know who all wants to come next Tuesday at 5. And if we're gonna have more than 3, then we'll just do a special meeting.
Yeah, because 3 would be fine. It's more than 3.
Yep, I just need to know Monday by 5 PM who all needs to be there.
We would have to do a 24-hour, it's supposed to be a 24-hour notice.
Yeah, so Monday, 5 PM.
Brady, I know I've been engaged with some of the SOGs in the past. I was planning not to attend because I had concerns with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't plan to be there either. so.
I don't plan to be there.
Okay, so we should be good.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
I was hoping to send another squad representative or somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other discussion on SOG committee? Hearing none, we'll go into training committee.
So I started looking into the training committee and found that they have not met for probably 6 or 7 months, so it is essentially like dead in the water. So a couple of questions that come up with that are, first of all, is what is the status of training? The rescue chiefs requested a training calendar. They were given this, which looks nice, but if you get into it, there is only 1 rescue training on the calendar for the year. And so since there's no substance here, I don't know how much we can influence this topic. So I think just a question for clarification, first of all, is should I interpret that as, every squad is up to resourcing their own training and should just hire out from the outside to get the training we need up and running and have our own plan? And do we expect anything to change with that, or is that going to be the status quo?
Well, I have a question. So where does this come from, like Honeycutt's list of like training that he puts out? And so it's only like
It's
like
fire
very
training.
fire geared. So are there classes on there that are like ICS classes and stuff like that, or not really?
I gotta go to bat for Honeycutt though, because he is slam and he's about teaching everything there is to be taught that he can teach. I mean, he's working 24/7 teaching. He has been super busy. But going back, Christie, to what you said, I think SOGs and training go on the county side for rescue squads too. I mean, we do our own training, a lot of training on different things. Whether it's have Prisma come in and do AED stuff or do oxygen delivery or anything. But when it comes to the county SOGs, of the requirements that we have to have for training, such as EMR or first aid, CPR, and all that, that's gonna go back to the SOG committee. And those classes are gonna have to be provided by the county for our first responders, you know, for the volunteers. And a lot of them are, Tammy's teaching the EMR, several of us, and Zach, maybe you could speak up on this. I think it's,
So are those
the
classes?
classes need to be scheduled, but I think if we know who wants what class, but the county on the other side has to say, this is what we require, or the SOG committee, this is the minimum to run medical calls or rescue calls. You have to have this. And once we establish that, we can establish training. But I know the training committee has sat idle for 2 years, and we're still waiting on SOGs. Where do we go with this? You know, and maybe, Mike, you got some input on this.
I think the, current SOG that we have, well, it's not SOG, it's a training guideline. I looked over it, a lot of it was written in accordance with Upstate Medical, Associate, EMS. Upstate EMS, and it's null and void, we don't use it anymore. Turn it around, take out the parts we need, and turn it into part of the SOG. Just as a training SOG requirement.
Put it in as an annex. at the
I
very
don't even,
end or
I don't even think it would just be a basic, here's the generic, what you have. And then for your each, cause it's, I mean, the National Registry has a guideline that you would follow for recertification. EMRs, we have, you know, you have to have at least 20 plus hours of recert every 2 years now, where it was 24 and 3. So we go with that, the standard we use for ASHE, that's a standard for recertification, or HSI, and just make it, this is it, and then the avenues. Scheduling the classes, I can tell you, we would schedule and people did not want to attend because it was at Westminster. Well, we have to teach classes 9 times out of 10, if it's a state class, we have to use the classroom that they inspect for, especially EMT or skills, that's where we keep all the equipment. Some of the squads have their own training devices. So, we'll set up a schedule and get it going where we're gonna give an EMR refresher, and the way it was set up, one in the winter, basically fall and spring. And then full classes would take part also. But some of your instructors are also doing both, so we gotta look at that. With a 2-year training cycle, put people on a training cycle and we'll get it. Basically, I guess you would say a tickler file, hey, your EMR is up in 6 months. You know, here's the avenues you can do it. Like we said, you can do it, online action training, a lot of people have that. Get your online training out of the way, verify your skills, you take the test, and that's it for recertifying. It's basically the most user-friendly you can get. We put training instructors at each one of the squads, some 22 lost theirs. That was a ASHE instructor. We can get one back, we just need people with experience. And truthfully, running calls, doing hands-on medical care, I don't know of anyone yet. Have y'all come up with one?
No, and we're gonna be hamstrung if we don't
Right.
hire somebody who can make it happen. So we don't wanna be at the mercy of, and we've lost our training coordinator in large part due to non-responsiveness of being able to get things scheduled. So we just need to put the solution in our own hands, but we also wanna make the county aware that we are gonna just have to, put our own resources for that expense.
We just need to establish the minimum requirements for first responders, or for the medical side, for rescue, you know, VFIS, EMR, first aid, CPR, the stuff that you have to have. And I think once those are established in black and white,
Well-
then it'll be easy for us.
I think we're talking two different,
Well, we
big
are, but
problems at
they
the same
overlap
time.
they overlap each other,
So-
SOGs and training.
Yeah, however, I think all of us at this table know what the minimum requirements are, even without the SOGs being in place. And so, yes, we do need to get the SOGs in place, however, we also need a tool where people can go to a calendar or be able to sign up for classes, and if that's an issue, that's a whole separate issue.
Right, and but the minimum requirements, the basic, what we're talking about, but then for dive team, those minimum requirements are different. For boat operations, they're different. For search and rescue team, some of the minimum requirements could be different.
Didn't you have a training matrix for the dive team? Mm-hmm. I know I made one for the rescue squads. That's part of that training
Yeah,
document.
we got it.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
part of that. That's
okay.
one thing where it's keepable.
Yeah, so there is a training document each new responder should get.
Yeah.
It says, there's 3 stages. There is to become a member, right? Your application, your background check, your physical, right? Then you get your ID, your EMR, driver training, SOG training, your departmental training, EMS clinical operating guidelines, right?
Yeah.
District training, and at the very end, I think there's a few more things, but that
Right.
would be done
Yeah,
for each person, right? From the top to the bottom.
but if
Right.
we're saying that they need to be, if like putting them on a training calendar, if that's what the chiefs are asking for,
Right.
if that's the most efficient
And-
way to do that, then who's gonna update it, who is updating it, and
And it needs to be,
is that a,
and it needs to be put out more than 6 weeks in advance. People need time to get their lives together, especially for these long classes that are multiple evenings. We cannot expect people with 1 week's notice to drop everything and take work off and make this happen.
right,
We,
and,
hopefully a platform we can use, and I don't, sure that it'll hold it. But if we get, it's,
and I don't know that I necessarily expect this calendar to have more than, not just fire classes, but like fire academy classes. But if we can have it, have, other classes other than fire academy classes, cause there's fire academy classes that are applicable to rescuers as well, then by all means add those classes to that calendar, but
Make it-
I know Honeycutt's only one person, so.
There's probably a way on that calendar to do like a little checkbox for fire and then one for medical.
it's a Google.
It's a Google Calendar, so you should be able to put check boxes on there. If you just wanna see medical exclusively, we put everything on one, that way we don't have to make a different calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess what I'm thinking about is
easy.
like, you got ICS classes that come from the fire academy, you've got, high angle, low angle classes that come from, but they're not solely fire, and they're not solely rescue, and they're not medical.
Right, then you got Swiftwater classes that we bring in.
Right, so you got
Contractors.
classes that can be put on that calendar that,
It's just putting everything in a folder and
yeah.
in categories.
So y'all gonna work on that?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna work on that? Okay.
Just to add something, Jim,
What else?
I'm sorry, but
No, you're-
along Amber's side, there's a whole bunch of fire academy classes. And granted, those are canned classes that are already developed, but I think on the rescue side, there's a potential for us to do some internal development of our people. And things like, it doesn't have to be a whole day or a whole week, maybe just like a good 4-hour MCI class, and kind of walk those things out. I also think, again, there's a need for like new rescue squad members to have some sort of like 101 training where, hey, here's putting it all together, and here's, including things like radio traffic when you get on scene, some do's and don'ts, and kind of having some of those. Again, I don't think it's anything super complicated, but, making sure our people know how to use like a fire extinguisher, God forbid they need to, or they would get those things if they were in a fire program, and checking some of those boxes, how to stabilize a car, or some do's and don'ts.
Well, and it may be beneficial for the 2 commissioners that are assigned to the training committee to get with each one of the training officers on each squad, not just,
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them, but each squad and see what they're thinking, and then delegate the task, cause like, this is more work than one person can handle.
No doubt, yeah.
It needs to be delegated and divvied up.
Well, that's the
Might
thing too,
start
it's
there.
not in unison, because there's certain squads that are doing a lot of training,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's some squads that's not doing much training.
Yeah, but they could benefit off the squads that are doing a bunch of
Right.
training, so like, if you got
You
somebody
know,
that's
so we
real
can
gung
open
ho
some
at doing
doors
training,
to You know, well, they did that with VFIS, sent a bunch of people to get instructor qualified, so we could have more classes. I know I am, I know Brady is.
But like if Salem puts on, you know, training all the time or whatever, and it's, something that they can put out there to everybody, with it not be, like, not bombarding the instructor or just make the environment too large, like, they could put it out to everybody and say, hey, we're holding this training, and this is gonna be the topic, and
I
allow
feel like
other,
that's-
other squads to capitalize on it, and then you're not doubling up.
I feel like they should already be doing that, and that's an option in red, like that event that I made for next Tuesday. Anybody can go and make an event, do unlimited sign-ups. So just getting it pushed out there in some
I
kind
don't
of
think people know
platform.
how to do what you did.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother like topic, right? Like learning red, if red is so new, people don't even know like the options that it has.
Right.
So we have a ways to go, and I think, you know, it's not just up to her or
No.
the
Well,
other commissioner
no.
to like figure out what.
Because I'm
It's just-
going to recommend not continuing this committee. Like, I don't feel like we can influence the county on this. I feel like we've lost our training coordinator because we, like, nothing's happening. And I think we might be able to get more energy or more volunteers if we looked at different committees. So, like, this is not for decision, but just think about, would we be better served if we had a committee for volunteer satisfaction, where we did climate surveys and just kind of found out what people needed? Would we want a committee that's looking at software solutions within our squad? We're trying to look at some of that because we need some kind of, there are online volunteer sign-up systems, there are inventory systems, there are just options, and I think we've kind of outgrown trying to do everything by email. And Red has some of those solutions, but not all of the things that we need. So I just want to offer that for consideration and thought, not for decision right now, what you think we actually need and could get some energy behind.
Okay. Any more discussion on training committee? Hearing none, we'll move into Deputy Chief Carroll's report.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Got the squad run report in front of you. We're gonna do, on January last year, our last meeting. January was probably the best month we had countywide on responses. You notice that everybody's in, the lowest was 60%. And that's really, that's good. Looking into February, we did have, one squad that did drop down from previous, but that was pretty much kind of timing on the amount of when the calls came across. They were daytime calls where they do not have some members available during those times to respond. So that's why their numbers dropped in half for that month. But on the whole, everything is looking good. Does anybody have any questions?
Question. We mentioned it a few years ago, but I don't think it was a thing in ERS. I know in red, it'll show you day versus night dispatches, but I cannot get it to work. Is that something we can add to this?
I would love to get that too. Like you said, red is, I'm still learning it myself.
Yeah.
And pulling what report is the actual right report to pull.
Yeah.
So I can try to get that done.
Okay.
And hopefully, like, if we get it set right, that will be, the run reports will have favorites that you want to go through.
Yeah, they'll be up there at the top.
Long list, it'll be under favorite for, if you have the, chief's rights or
Yep.
officer or training officer rights to run that
Showed
report.
me that one report where it was laid out very nicely,
Yes,
where it had training hours, runs, had they had a physical. Could you make sure that's one of the ones that gets added to that favorite, because I can't locate it now.
gotcha.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
It was our, incentive report.
Is that what it was under,
Yeah.
incentive report? Okay. But if you could, when you're talking about favorites, if you could add that one, that would be very helpful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I need to learn how to do this apparently.
We're moving right into the Red NMX software and Responder app. And y'all had questions last time on the Responder and how it works. Still, some people love it, some people hate it. There's some good portions of it that are great, and there's some items of it that, yeah, it went down once last month that I know of. And as soon as I found out, I made a phone call and it went back. I mean, it was just a kink in the system that it went offline for maybe 8 hours, thereabouts. But no one didn't catch it because it was overnight, on a weekend or on Friday. One of the weird things. So looking at active, I mean, like you said, it's in talks for come back to active and doing that. Looking at the total number of volunteers and what we paid last year, we were looking around, probably right around $7,000 as a budget item. I don't see it being much more. The fire commission did talk about it. I don't know if y'all talked about it in your budgeting, but we're looking at doing that and seeing if we pull Responder out, then you lose some of the stuff that's great about it. But we don't gain that, what we losing with it active. So weigh the possibility, weigh the items. I don't fully know if we lose, if we drop Responder, do we drop the meeting where you can sign up and do meeting notes and do that, or be able to even do partial reports?
Didn't Chris say that Responder comes with the contract though?
Maybe, I'm thinking there in early talk that it may be something where you can pull out. I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% positive. But you would look at active for the county would be about a $7,000 investment to the budget for next year.
Does the Responder app populate some of the information in the CAD system? in the
Yes.
Reporting?
Well, it keeps track, and you can go back and pull your calls. If you hit respond to station or respond to scene, it pulls your information. It doesn't pull you to that call, but it keeps track that you were on that call.
But like
You
the
understand?
times and some of the other
No.
things, nothing, it's not connected?
That's all still by CAD only.
Okay.
Now I have noticed, if it's working right, if you have the AVL app, so on a tablet, iPad in your vehicle, you can assign yourself to a call, put in route, on scene, clear, out of service, and it does.
And it does track because the AVL runs through the.
Yep.
the-
But that's just
CAD
for
for-
iPad and
CAD side
tablet.
of the
I think
house.
y'all got a Surface Pro. Someone said that the Surface Pro works good with Red or AVL.
I asked for a Surface Pro, but I don't think we got a Surface Pro, as far as I know.
Yeah, we've got 2 iPads in our trucks and it works great.
So you could use it kind of almost like a pseudo mobile data terminal?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
But that's, and you still do majority of the report on that too.
And I will say, we've been using it, I mean, I've been the one wanting it the most, so I've been kinda on Mike and Mark to get it done. But I've even noticed running calls at night, the borders are white, and at night it's kinda bright no matter how low you've got the iPad. So I just told Mark, I was like, hey, can we try to get like a night mode on there? And they're currently developing a night mode for us, so it's pretty cool.
So that's still, like you said, I mean, we're a year in on this software and it's still a lot to learn.
Yep.
Any questions on active or red? All right, training. Again, I will work on getting that training calendar. And like I said, we need a platform or it was nice when we had a county webpage, I guess you was almost webpage, but that's not allowable.
Could you talk about why?
Yeah, why is that?
County wants all their information out.
Yeah, so the county website's through a third party. We send what we want to this third party on the website, and they do it for us.
So we can't populate it.
Correct.
You gotta put a work order in.
Yeah, and so,
So it's like a real pain in the neck
put in a ticket.
for anything. Oh,
Yes.
God, that sounds terrible.
There were conversations at one time about having an emergency services one, exclusively for this kind of stuff, and it's just still very much in its infancy.
So Google Calendar's like where we're at the moment. Yeah, which is not bad, but, yeah.
We like Google Calendar.
But it'd be, like you said, if it'd be easy, instead of everybody trying to learn, if the squad, or like you said, if the QR codes are a thing now, that it came up and it brought you to the calendar, and you could pick fire, rescue, or whatever. And you make sure the class, if you wanna see them all, I don't know if we could do it, we can look at it. I'm not,
Take your route.
but we'll get them on there. With that said, there's a EMR refresher going on at headquarters, starting 4/9 to the 11th. That's 2 nights and 1 all day. The EMT class, a email went out to all the chiefs, for personnel interested in obtaining EMT, and they should be experienced EMTs and have the time to put forth in this class, because it's gonna be a nighttime and a weekend class, and it's gonna run from May to probably mid-September. And there's only a certain amount of dates or days and hours you can miss, because it's run through the fire academy. And they have, requirements on the number of hours it miss.
So that's the EMT class?
Yeah, 5/4, tentative start date's 5/4. And there is a cost associated with it, it's $550, which is probably 3 times less than what Upstate's charging.
I got a question based off that. I have a, member that's part of R7 and R8 that asked about this class, and typically Rescue 7 and 8, all we require is first aid. How have we done that in the past if somebody wants to take something more than first aid as far as like costs associated with it? Does the county see that as a cost they would like to like accrue, or does that come from the squad? Like, wouldn't it be beneficial for them to have it, or not really?
I would say priority is given to the medical responders. We fill the class with them, then looking for people outside, as long as they're a primary medical responder.
Okay.
But it's up to your squad whether or not you're gonna fund someone going to the training. So. Some other classes that are coming up are rescue related. Clemson University is coming down. It's 7th, 10th, and 14th. They have a grain bin rescue simulator. It's 20 students per class. That's a special type confined rescue. They need some rescue certs to be active in doing that kind of class, or being involved in that kind of a rescue. So more of that will come out, and the requirements of what you need should be there. It's mostly an informational thing. They come down to show you what the equipment does. It's not a per se certificate class. The Burn Center, Augusta, is coming down August 13th. There's gonna be 2 sessions, a 0900 and a 0900 session and 1800 session. And that class has CAPC for recertification for EMTs and EMRs.
What's the date on that one?
August 13th.
13th of August.
Thank you.
It is a very good presentation to come to. Let's see if I got anything on this one I missed. Fire Academy classes that are being taught.
Did we get any clarification on the IC 300, 400 being virtual or not? I think the last I heard, they were both gonna be virtual this time, but I think we were gonna get some clarification on that.
I think they were saying virtual except for a test.
And I think that was a part where Steve said I couldn't be heard last time.
That what?
There was a part of the notes where Steve couldn't discern what we were talking about.
Oh.
I think that was it. So no, I did not get that information.
Okay,
I will get it now.
okay.
Sorry, couldn't pull it up.
Oh, I couldn't hear it either. I watched the whole presentation again. The only speaker that really picks up good is Amber's.
No,
That IS 300, 400 class is coming up the 19th and the 26th of May.
Okay.
There is a instructor one class. And I think the only prerequisite is, and this is for anybody who wants to be an instructor, and teaches you to be an instructor, you gotta be 18 years of age. That's it. So no prerequisite for that other than age. And it basically is teaching you how to teach a class. It can be any type of class, not fire-based, it's not. You may, presentation I took when I was in Maryland was, you had to pick something that, come up with a lesson plan, teach it, and they taught you all the teaching methods of how to do, what you should be doing.
That's a fire academy class now?
Yeah.
Okay.
When was that? Sorry.
It is starting April 6th. Deadline was passed, but it was coming up. Sorry. April, CEP coming up on the 28th and 29th. Trauma is the subject. That's it. I know we still need to work on a tentative date for VFIS. And hopefully, I have some info that the chief's.
That's correct, this
Yeah.
Thursday.
Anybody got any questions on that?
I got one more thing, it's something me and you had talked about too. My daughter is one of the master instructors with the National Fire Sprinkler Association. And she's got a short window and she wants to come see my mother. So she wants to come here and she'd like to teach a class to the county while she's here, lithium battery class and maybe an introduction to fire sprinkler class, all in one night. And the window that we're looking at right now would be April maybe 20th or 21st, 22nd, one of those 3 days. And Salem has shown interest in hosting that class either at the old school in the auditorium or even at the fire station. But I don't know, we're talking 4 weeks away, how many people can we get? But the lithium battery class is excellent, and that's done by the National Fire Sprinkler Association out of Baltimore. So if she's willing to teach a class, it's not gonna cost us nothing, and we can put people in that class, I think it'd be great. And it's a good class. So that's a possibility, and if she picks the date that she's gonna be here, I'll send it out to everybody. I'll let all the departments know. And if we got a big enough interest in it, we can have it at the auditorium maybe in Salem, or maybe move it to headquarters if the classroom's free that night.
Yeah. What's seat capacity at headquarters?
What, 50?
50
56?
in that room?
Yeah, and I think we can get more than that in the auditorium in Salem at the old
Yeah.
school. Yeah. And she's willing to do those 3 days, she can do a luncheon class, she can do a morning class, a night class, or do one evening class, make it 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever we want, so it's open.
I like,
So I don't, if you guys are interested or you think the squads are interested, I'll get that info out.
yeah, I'll push it up. What else you got?
Lost my notes. Vehicles. That was the last time, I think. The Oakway truck, it's finished being outfitted with the camper shell, bed pull-out, winch and, brush guard. Waiting now, it's in line with the sheriff's department when he gets fitted in for his lights. All that's supposed to ride already, so now we're just waiting on motor pool to install the lights. The Salem truck went back to motor pool. They corrected the items that were noted by the squad. They could not clear out the trouble that was being gremlins in the airbag system and the braking system. So it's a Kiwi Ford right now getting hopefully fixed. I didn't get a call in there today to check on it, but I'll do that tomorrow, or swing by there, that's the best way to do it. But it's the Ford dealer now. And several squads are acquiring, or have acquired new vehicles. We're working on getting those in the CAD. Anybody have any questions? That's it.
All right, hearing none, we'll go into rescue squad updates. Region 1.
That's me, so.
It is.
I met last month, Rescue 4, correction, Rescue 3. Sat with them during their meeting, got to meet some people that I hadn't met before, it was very nice. I enjoyed sitting and talking with them. Looks like they have about 3 new members, 2 are already trained, EMT and I believe a paramedic. They're looking at potentially putting together some sort of rescue unit, maybe in the old ambulance that they currently have. They've worked out a deal with Rescue 6 Mountain Rest, and I believe they've purchased one of the Explorers from them. They're gonna restripe it and do those type of things, I believe, when they're done. And, they, got to meet the EMS unit that was there as well. They host an EMS unit at their station. As far as Rescue 1, we're doing good. We have a member that joined us, and then they had to relocate, and then now they came back. A little bit of a boomerang member. And I believe they're in EMR training right now. We're looking forward to them completing that. I worked with along the line of that training, looking for different things for our people. And on May 12th, I'm able to arrange the National Weather Service is gonna come and do a Skywarn or spotter class for us, weather spotter class. So that'll be during our regular meeting. We should have a couple extra seats if there's somebody interested. But, again, we're limited by space, so, if you have somebody that's interested in taking that, or if they haven't taken that before, we'd be happy to host a handful of people from other squads there while they're in town, yep. And it'd be about an hour and a half, 2-hour presentation, so that's gonna be on May 12th. Questions on those things? Do you want me to catch these 2 items I requested now, or do you want to do that during new business?
Well, you do it now.
Okay. I probably should have changed that wording around for medications. One of the things that I was, to be honest with you, a little surprised, Rescue 3 is not currently carrying Narcan. It doesn't sound like all of the squads are carrying that. And I wanted to find a path for how we could do that. Make sure that all the rescue squads are carrying Narcan. And we could kind of talk, after we get that straightened out, down the road, we could maybe talk about other medications. But what's the path to have rescue squad, if they're interested, carrying Narcan?
Well, through the South Carolina State Fire Association, they have the ROLL program. It's an online class that allows anybody to sign on, as long as they have a fire portal access and the Blackboard, which is part of State Fire. It's an online class, you take the ROLL class, gives your certificate, and then your squad for basically is money for the fire department first response. That once you have 80% of your membership, correct? Out of the ROLL, you're eligible to get free Narcan for your department. So,
And again, it would just be the rolling stock, not for people's personal kits?
right,
Okay.
they couldn't outstock, they can't outfit everyone who has a vehicle. So it's mainly the units that get stocked or the marked units for the squad.
Do we have any of the departments that don't have one? No, haven't completed the role.
At the time, when it was first, so now it's all online.
Right.
So unless we get their certification, we don't know, because it is not by department anymore, you can just sign up and do it.
Sign up and do it.
So it used to be we had to physically go and teach the class. So,
If you're an EMT, the roll class would not be required because that's part of your training, correct?
well,
Or is that-
it's It's required if your squad wants to be a part of the program, they
Gotcha.
receive the free Narcan.
So regardless of what your certification is to be involved in
Right.
that program,
Yes.
you get the free Narcan. and
Right.
Be counted as that you said you have to complete the roll class.
Yes. And then, is that correct me if I'm wrong, every squad got Narcan from us at the beginning.
Well, that was quite a while ago though, right?
It's been a hot minute.
2023?
Maybe they're out.
So,
And there is a way now to, for out, and I haven't got the letter yet, I've requested it, but through the grapevine, Department of Health says as long as it's been environmentally maintained, it's good a year past its expiration date. So, but I haven't got that yet. Supposedly a memo, it went out.
So we can just follow up next Thursday at the rescue chief meeting with everybody. See
Yeah.
who they need
To
to.
see who has it,
Yep.
and then work through that path.
Yep.
Right. I'll let the chief there know.
And then we, Zach would request if they, we would request more through the state.
Okay.
And the EMTs are carrying more stuff in their bags.
Potentially, yes, and I'll direct that to you.
There's a whole list of
Yeah.
requirements that we would have to meet. So,
Any questions on the medication or the Narcan? Okay. The other item, and again, I'm not sure if I worded it right, I just thought iPhone crash or general crash notification. The technology's out there now, and to me, it's kind of like an automatic fire alarm. We don't transmit an automatic fire alarm as a structure fire when it comes over for the fire department. I know that this is newer technology for the crash technology, but I just wanted to start having the discussion with the group, and I'm not sure if this is something SOG group needs to get engaged with, because it affects not just only rescue, fire, and certainly dispatch as well. And I know that there have been some calls, or a percentage of the crash notifications, that have been legitimate crashes. So, and I'm not saying we shouldn't respond, but I'm just saying, instead of everybody rolling until we get either like a second phone call, or, I guess my brain's going a little too quick here. So a crash notification comes out. If it's just a single call, there's always a potential or a high possibility that the phone's just fallen. Somebody left it on the top of the roof of a vehicle, drove off, and then it's on the side of the road. And that's happened quite a bit. We've moved a whole lot of resources in that direction for a phone that's on the side of the road. God forbid somebody sprawled out, it was required, but again, 90+% of the time, in my experience, it's just sitting on the side of the road, or we can't find it at all. If it's in a populated area, I would think that there'd be, and somebody was injured, or there was a bad wreck, I would imagine there'd be a second or third or fourth phone call. Then the dispatcher could obviously upgrade that call. It becomes challenging in rural areas where there may or not be good cell phone service, or where there may or may not be somebody passing by, in that 5 or 10 minute window when the crash has happened. So I just wanted to get your opinion on what you thought or what your experience has been. And again, I don't think we need to solve it tonight, but if we could start that conversation. I thought one of the things that might be important, and again, I recognize we don't control the PSAP or the dispatch center, but that we're clear when we get those calls of, hey, I've only had one phone call, or that additional information could be given out for that, as the units start responding. Hey, it is an iPhone crash notification, give some additional information. We're not able to call back, or there's just an open line, or whatever the dispatcher knows, obviously. We were at a wreck the other day, and I didn't realize it came in as a crash notification initially. And, when I leaned on the other side, there would have been no way for that person to get to their phone. They'd been ejected out of a Jeep. So there would have been really no way for them to get a hold of that phone. And in that case, I believe they had other callers. It was in a populated area. So they had additional callers, calling in. It wasn't just that alone. Have you had experience with these yet? I'm sure everybody probably has.
We've
Any
had-
thoughts on it, or?
We've had boats crash into.
Yep.
Yeah, we've even had them on the lake. so-
Jet skis and, yeah,
But you're better off to err,
sound caution.
sending people and responding than not responding.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, because obviously we need to send people in emergency mode, but how many and what type of response for that initial, for just the one phone call?
I don't know if there's any good way to like temper it, really.
Yeah.
There's no way to really because
You just don't know.
you don't even know how many volunteers are gonna show up anyway to call
I
on any
think
given time.
dispatch continues to try to call them back and make contact.
Yeah.
And they usually say that in active or in responder, they'll tell you, you know, this was iPhone crash notification, trying to make contact, no
And-
contact.
And, you know, like everything else, sometimes the dispatcher does a better job than other days. And we all have those days where they're clear with, hey, this is a crash notification. I'm trying to make contact, or I've been unable to make contact.
Your car's going by.
Yeah, exactly. And then other times it's just, hey, it's a car wreck. And granted, they might have 3 or 4 other tasks that they're trying to accomplish at that time, and they're not able to give that additional information.
So
Okay, we-
I agree it's an annoyance, but I don't think it's for us to resolve what we respond to. It's an interesting topic to keep watching, because I think it will increasingly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As the technology or people update their devices, we're just gonna get through. Okay, that was it.
All right. Any questions for Region 1? Hearing none, we'll move on to Region 2. Dean?
We got one new guy that's in the EMT school right now. Probably a third of the way through, doing real good with that. No other new people coming on. We just had Lucas training with Prisma. That was pretty good for the squad. And we've been doing a lot of squad training with equipment, you know, what we were talking about earlier, doing a lot of that. I've talked to Truman up at 6. He said, you know, this past month, they've been short quite a few people, and they haven't been doing a whole lot, but he's working on that, trying to get more people out on these calls. So, other than that, that's all I've got for 2 and 6.
Any questions for Dean? Hearing none, Region 3. Steve?
Rescue 4, we were able to purchase a vehicle to add to our response vehicles. We're in the midst of getting license plates for it and things like that, changing the striping a little bit. Of course, we have it insured already. We're looking forward to that being a good addition to our squad. And Rescue 5, they asked me to bring up their concerns about lift assists. And is there anything that the county can do about lift assists
Meaning like what?
eating up resources?
We can go visit, we have visited numerous people in the past, but if people, if they fall, I hate to say it, they fall, and they know they can call 911 to help them up. And we have a duty to act when someone calls 911.
Basically, it's providing a service.
Are you guys getting an unusual amount of lift assist calls or something?
It started increasing around COVID.
Huh.
Imagine having people on a schedule for it.
Yeah. We have several we're working on now. Not going into detail, it's a very cumbersome, yeah. I mean, it's family members who don't, I mean, the person really needs a full-time care, and they don't wanna have them go outside the home. But they can't assist them with the needs they have by themselves, so when something happens at the home and they need assistance, they know that someone's close by to come help, so. We'll try give me the addresses that I have not, if I haven't already visited them, or Drake, and we'll work on it. But a lot of times, it's a very tough thing to crack.
Thank you. The only other thing I had was, I understand that physicals that are required every year, I just learned that we can now get our private doctors to do these physicals. And I understood that went into effect last year. Is there a certain process that people have to do now that if they go to their private doctor? Are there different forms? We can let our members know.
So this was brought up at the Chiefs meeting. I believe I brought it up when it first came out. The Chiefs, the rescue squad chiefs, correct me if I'm wrong, Brady, voted to keep with the county requirement for, having regular firefighters get physical leave at level 1 or
Still
level
has to
2.
meet NFPA.
Yep. And then it turned around and came back from above through crying that, council stated this and this was what was brought back. And so we came up with a form that you could take to your family physician. It would basically list what the requirements are for a level 1 and a level 2 or 4. And those are available to, Cindy can send those out, or I can send it, we have them. And then it just kind of went, I wouldn't say went by the wayside, but it was at a higher level than me.
Thank you.
So Cindy has those.
We have sent one out recently, so.
But it's not the same physical, right? Like, it's not a stress test and all that.
Stress tests are required for level 1. Level 2, you still have to do for, since, just to make sure everybody understands, level 2 is supposed to be exterior firefighting or non-arduous rescue work. Okay, you should be in the woods, shouldn't, I'm not sure they worked it out being on a boat or not.
Does 2 allow you to drive and operate equipment?
Yes.
It does.
Drive and operate equipment.
And 4 is admin only.
4 is admin only. But you remember the OSHA, for all of us, there is an OSHA requirement, if you wear a respirator, and an N95 is a respirator, you're supposed to do the questionnaire. And it's up to the physician to figure out if you need to do anything with that, from your answers on that questionnaire. Okay, so I mean, dive team, they're supposed to get, divers are supposed to get, and hazmat members, I don't want to speak out of turn, should be getting a chest x-ray every 5 years.
Yeah.
Get once the initial and then after that. There's a lot of little sticking points that we need to talk about on a whole, not just rescue, but as a county on a whole. So, just to make sure everybody, not just the county is covered, but you, not you, your squads are covered who have insurance policies that are private. You hold them, make sure you're meeting the requirements of your insurance companies and also OSHA.
I'd just like to make a comment on this. I think that it's this, how do I say this? I think that it's kind of ridiculous that we're allowing something outside of our process, and I think that it should be revisited by the council, by the county council, because it just allows for things to slip through the cracks, and everybody should be held to a certain standard to be responding to calls. And I don't know how we get the county council to revisit it, but I think that it should be revisited. That's just my personal opinion, but
I can
I
bring
think-
it up in my report in May.
Okay.
You got anything
Thanks.
else? You good? Alright, Hearing no more discussion, Region 5, or excuse me, Region 4.
Okay, we are down 5 members. We lost 1 for health reasons, 1 for fit reasons, and 2 for satisfaction reasons. So we lost our training coordinator. As I said, a lot of that had to do with just feeling the county wasn't responsive. So we are definitely in a season of recruitment, and we'll be trying to find ways to bring new people on board and to get training set up for them. Then lastly, and sadly, one of our long-standing members emeritus, Charlene Stanton, passed away last week. So her service will be on April 18th, and just get with me if you'd like the details. But we'll try as the squad to have a presence and
Yeah,
help the family. That's it.
That's all you got. Any discussions? Yeah, if you could send that service out to everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hearing no more, we'll go into Region 5. Amber?
All right, so for Region 5, for Rescue 7, the dive team, so a few things. We're still working on some dates for the swim test, looking at mid-April for that. Most likely a couple different weekends to allow people to make it to that meeting, or make it to that training. We had some issues with a call where the divers got canceled en route, and it was the King Creek landing call with Rescue 1. Sounded like there was some kind of miscommunication there, and it said I asked Aaron about it, and he said that y'all got that situated, so hopefully we won't have any issues going forward with that. But it sounded like there were still a few dive team members that were there helping. We have a dive class coming up. Zach is putting it together for an open water diver class. So if anybody's interested in taking that class, just get with him. And we don't have a date or anything as far as I know, right?
We're still looking at bids.
Okay. We had some nominations for assistant chief on Tuesday night, and we had some nominations for lieutenant. We're going through some organizational changes, so we're gonna work through that. And then we have training on Friday at 1800 at Rescue 4 if anybody's interested in attending. I don't know the topic as of right now, but
Do you have a time?
1800.
Oh, thank you.
Was that for diver special?
That's for that. I think that's all I have for dive at the moment that's pertinent. For special rescue, we've had a few calls go out. It's recommended that since we've got the weather kind of acting funky right now, being hot and during the day and then cold at night, just for people that are attending those calls to check your bags, make sure you have appropriate gear in those. We did have the floor come in for our boat, and we're gonna have a work day to put that in. On April 17th, we have Palmetto dust off and Prisma training. That is gonna be an all-day training from like 8 to 6. So working on getting people that are interested in attending that training. And we also have Swiftwater training that we're gonna try to schedule. We don't have a date for that currently, but we need to see who's up for a recert and who needs it, period, like who's never had it. So if anybody's interested in taking that or getting their recert, can let Chief Adams know. And then I forgot to mention, for both teams, we had 2 new members join the team. And then the training for special rescue is gonna be on Sunday at 13:30 at Rescue 4. I also do not know the topic of that training, but it will be there. That's all I have.
This Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday.
Okay.
All right.
Any more questions? Hearing none, we'll go into the rescue squad chief commissioner. Zach, you wanna start?
Yeah, so with the SOGs and stuff that, with what y'all are gonna be reviewing on Tuesday, I believe it's pertinent that collectively as a rescue squads and a rescue SOG committee and the commission sit down with administration at least once a year to do maintenance on the SOGs. Just to make sure, is what we're looking at practical, and what can we do to kind of fix it? That way, we're just not sitting in limbo saying that, well, this is not being done, right, and scrambling.
Yep.
The end of the year is gonna be very busy for us as far as, chief elections and such like that, according to the SOGs. But I would say give us maybe November, just for the, SOG committee to present, some adopted SOGs or some, amendments to those to present to the Rescue Squad Advisory Commission for approval, so they can start January 1st of every year. Does that make sense?
I do like the idea of January 1st, but I would almost recommend that we do this time next year, only because since the ones that we're working on haven't technically come out yet, and by the time they come out, it may be, I don't know, we'll say 2 or 3 months from now,
Right.
then this time next year would be a good check to see how are they working for everybody. But then you could adjust it to, you could push that next time out, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So like, maybe make the first time you meet after these new SRGs come out this time next year, and then the second time you meet, like, push it on out a little further, just to get it on that rotation that you're
Just as long as
requesting.
it's being done.
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
It's just like protocols for patient care, right? Things have to be looked at, things have to be revisited, so why not do this?
Yeah.
And I believe every rescue squad should do that. When it's their own agency as well, and, with everything else, so, yeah. That was it, just to make sure we had that, spoken of.
And you're just
and
suggesting
we'll
that,
go
right?
from there. You're right,
You'd
yeah.
like to make, oh, okay, you're not wanting to make a motion on it?
Because
We'll
in
make that-
reality, if you did, it's only gonna be for the commissioners in their current time.
Right.
So,
Right, so I just,
a strong suggestion to the SOG committee to follow.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Is that all you got?
Yep.
All I had, kind of briefly touched on it, we've got VFIS coming to our next meeting next Thursday, cause there's been some questions, and we're gonna hammer those out with the guy that actually taught us our class. So he should be there virtually for us, and I asked if they had anything else they'd like to bring up, and nothing was noted. Y'all got any questions for the rescue chiefs? Okay. Hearing none. Executive session. We do have an item on the executive session, is a discussion regarding a personnel matter related to volunteer emergency services. Do I hear a motion to enter executive session?
Motion.
I hear a motion by Amber. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Dean. All in favor, please raise your hand, say aye. Aye. We are in executive session. easily, you just gonna sit there? Okay. Need a motion to exit executive session?
So moved.
Need a second. Steve, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we were brought forth nominations for chief and assistant chiefs. The one nomination for chief did not meet the requirements of that position. We've asked that it go back out. We were brought two nominations for assistant chief. We reviewed those and they do meet the minimum requirements for that position. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to adjournment. I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Same time, Dean or Steve?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?